Really, do you believe
from what
that
I've
this
seen
is
in the last 24 hours? Yeah. Maybe not. But I do know one thing. DAZN, who pay the bills, are saying, because they've said it to me before, and they've said it to Golden Boy, you guys need to make this fight. This is a big fight. We'll pay the money, the right money, and it's still a lot of money. But guys, don't mess around here. This is the fight.
Which one of them do you want next?
It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, it would be Spence because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since
AT&T.
There you go, at the Cowboys Stadium, and I just think that's my dream fight. And I don't care what anyone says about it.
I tried to warn you all. The bad news was coming. Jaron Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz in Jeopardy. That's word to Alex Trebek. Rest in peace to Alex Trebek. A brand new interview comes out with Eddie Hearn, and he basically tells boxing fans, based on the information he's receiving, do not get your hopes up. Maybe not. Maybe the fight doesn't happen next. So in this video, that is what I will break down. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis may very well leave boxing fans with blue balls because the fight might not happen next. I just watched an interview with Eddie Hearn in Seconds Out, and what Eddie Hearn said did not give me hope that this fight will happen next. And I'm going to paraphrase. You guys can check the interview. It is available right now online. But to paraphrase, he was being asked about a potential fight. And he was basically saying, I'm not in a beef with Golden Boy or Oscar De La Hoya. We simply, him and Jaron Boots Ennis, we believe we have the best guy. So it's really in the spirit of competition, and that's why they want the fight. They don't believe that Vergil Ortiz is soft or can't fight. They think he's a contemporary, and perhaps they're the best in the division right now, which is why he wants to see the fight. And he's like, it's not a disrespect. Now, Eddie Hearn also stated that Golden Boy, Eric Gomez, president of Golden Boy, the representation, had a meeting, a sit-down meeting. He even revealed where it was at, in New York, with DAZN higher-ups, and he had his lawyer and representation. And DAZN team, Golden Boy team, rematch room, all sat in a meeting to discuss that particular fight. This was before the Lubin fight for Vergil Ortiz. And they came up with some terms, or like the skeleton of terms for them to fight, right? Then he said it went quiet, meaning he hadn't really heard back to know what was good. He says Jaron Boots Ennis was okay or good with his terms and elected to sign. I will fight Vergil Ortiz under these terms that you drew up with DAZN, right? But he said again, he hadn't really heard back from Team Ortiz. And then he said he finally got in touch with Golden Boy, and Eric Gomez stated, hey, Lubin is Vergil Ortiz's next scheduled fight. It's a dangerous fight, and we got to put all our resource into that fight and focusing in on that. And then afterwards, we can reconvene because we want to make Boots versus Vergil Ortiz fight thereafter, right? And I think that's fair. If you watch my channel, you know I always keep it real, and I've always stated what's fair and what's not, at least in my opinion. And if a person has a scheduled fight that's already on the line, then you can't really get mad. They have to just be given some grace there. Like, I remember when Boots him and his team, they were trying to get Brian Norman, who had a scheduled fight in Japan with Jin Sasaki, and they were trying to get him to agree on top of not even completing one task. That's stupid. Like when I was a kid, me and my siblings, we could not eat dessert until we ate a substantial portion, if not all, of our food, our regular dinner. Like you can't skip the vegetables, skip the meatloaf, eat some of the mashed potatoes, and then my mom's going to allow you to have dessert. In my household, I don't know about your household, but it didn't work like that in our household. So that makes perfect sense, that mentality, even in boxing. How can you skip to dessert and the bigger fight, you haven't even ate, quote unquote, what's on your plate? Meaning at the time, Norman hadn't cleared Jin Sasaki, even though he later did. So why would you be overly talking about what's next? As we know, when you plan too far in advance in boxing, things happen. And I don't trust none of these new fighters. We'll just say it like that. What I mean is trust. I'm not saying, oh, I wouldn't do an interview with a new fighter. I'm saying when it comes to trusting them to be inactive for a year and a half and then make the right decisions, trust them to not get out of shape, trust them to make weight, that type of stuff. The only real fighters that I trusted in recent history, Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather, because time after time, they had proven that they're not BSing. They're not poisoning their body, putting a lot of drugs in their body. They're never getting like bloated and fat when they're active fighters. And they were just, even in the ring, if Ward gets dropped by Darnell Boone, gets dropped by Kovalev, Floyd gets hurt by Shane Mosley, they always seem to be able to adjust and know how to deal with that, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna fight like a madman and get knocked out because I'm fighting off pride, or I don't want to clinch or take a knee, or, you know, whatever the case is, take a long count. So most of these new fighters, you see them, the moment they get hurt, the end is near. Like Berlanga. Berlanga gets badly hurt by Hamza Shiraz, and I could tell the fight was very close to being over, and that's exactly what happened. They have no survival instinct. They don't have any idea of how to react in those given situations. It's like they never even factored in the fact that that could happen to them, right? So that being said, I understand when fighters don't want to look past their upcoming opponent. But now Vergil Ortiz has already gotten past Lubin impressively. He got no injuries. He barely got touched. Lubin looked like a shell of his former self, never really engaged. His punch resistance looked shot. So you have a preserved fighter. And why are people doubting that this fight could happen? Eddie Hearn, he said, it's crazy, truly crazy, that if you listen to it, Eddie Hearn said almost exactly what I said in my prior video. And my video came out before this interview. You could check the date, but it's literally what I said. He was like, it's kind of weird if you want to make the fight and we want to make the fight, and you keep throwing up all these obstacles like, oh, we need 7 zeros attached, and if we don't get at least $10 million, then it's not going to happen. It's not even worth the conversation, blah, blah, blah. Like, who does that when they really want to fight? This is what Eddie Hearn was asking, which is a perfectly valid question. If you truly want to fight, why would you create turmoil before negotiations have actively resumed, right? And then Eddie Hearn says, where are you getting this number from? Which is exactly what I said. Jaron Ennis is not a champion. Vergil Ortiz is not a champion. Vergil has never been a full-bodied real champion in any division, right? Meaning he was the end-all be-all in boxing with the belt. I think he had like interim belts and secondary belts. things like that. So with that being said, what puts him in this superior position where they think that, oh, we get to call the shots and everything has to be favorable in the negotiations for this to work and we need $10 million. Like, where are you getting this? So what Eddie Hearn says is a rehash of what I've already told you. That sounds weird because, again, if you're truly trying to make a fight, why are you talking about the negatives before you arrive there, right? Like, wouldn't you get in negotiations? Like, we really want this fight. They really want to fight. Get in negotiations, hash it out. And then if situational things arise or difference of opinions, then you deal with it. You kind of cross that bridge once you arrive at it, not before you even get in negotiations publicly. Get online, get on Twitter, and put out a bunch of obstacles and road bumps that would stop you from the road to riches, which is making the fight. That makes absolutely no sense. I am the king of analogies, so allow me to give you guys an analogy here. If I want to date a girl, or let's say you want to date a girl, right? She's fine. And she's just your type, smell good, look good, green eyes, all that, right? And you are really into this girl, and she says, hey, we should go out this weekend. You're free over the weekend. She wants to go out. You're not going to then start saying, oh, what if it starts raining? Oh, what if the restaurant is crowded? Oh, da-da-da-da. You're not going to start this is what you want. So for me, I don't know about y'all, but I go after what I want, be it a woman, a goal, financial, whatever it is. I go after what I want. So if there's a woman I want and then she wants to date or I ask her on a date, then I'm not going to bring up a bunch of BS because I'm out here in the Bay where they bip into the cars and break into cars. I'm not going to bring up all that. Like, oh, if we go out to Oakland, they might break into your car or break into the whip and bip. You know what I mean? Again, these are all obstacles. Why would you throw up a bunch of obstacles that then you start saying too much, oh, it could rain. Oh, they could break into your car. But what if this? What if the restaurant's crowded? What if the food's not good? If you start throwing up a bunch of obstacles, that's not going to make the shorty want to actually kick it with you. Why would it? Why would she want to kick it with you? And you've already brought up 33 negative things. So similarly, let's go back to boxing. Similarly, why would you start vocalizing all of these requirements to the public? Keep in mind, boxing fans can't deliver what you want. This is not a kickstart, right? Where all boxing fans are going to chip in $5 to $20 and then give these fighters their purses. It's not that at all. So what is the point of even addressing that with the fans when that's stuff behind closed doors that you need to figure out and hash out? So it's not looking like Vergil Ortiz's team. And that's exactly what Eddie Hearn said. He said, Vergil, he's the fighter. He probably wants to fight, but I'm not so sure about the people around him. Literally, what Eddie Hearn says in this interview is verbatim what I said. I keep telling y'all, I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. There's a lot of people that want to do this now. They get on YouTube and TikTok, and they make videos, but 9 times out of 10, what they say don't happen. What I say, you start hearing people in the industry, fighters, champions, former champions, undisputed people, trainers, promoters, they start saying everything I've already told you on my channel. So that's how I know I'm on the right track and we're doing something special. Go watch the interview. Eddie Hearn said verbatim what I've already told you. And the reality is, this looks bad for Vergil Ortiz because